sports.
We are Blackmore. We are LA.
Tonight at the Big A, Jared Weaver takes the mound for the Halos, looking for his 16th win and doing it with an ERA just over 2. We always knew the Angels' ace was good, but this season he's been incredible.
Drinking a German beer with a Cuban cigar in the middle of Paris with a Dominican bar. Great head on her shoulder, she probably studied abroad. She transferred to Harvard from King's College in March. She says that I'm her favorite because she admires the art. Michelangelo with the flow, Picasso with the ball. She's well put together like a piece by Gershwin, Renaissance style. Tonight is picture perfect, smile.
What an excellent job once again by Jared Weaver. Finishing what he started. There's no better feeling in the world when you're a starting pitcher and you get to high five your catcher.
Casilla lifts one out toward right. Torrey Hunter giving chase, still going back. Jared Weaver has now hit the Minnesota Twins. Light that baby up. Participating stores. By Hyundai's Summer Drive sales event now through September 3rd. And by 76 Gas, we're on the driver's side. Oh, pretty cool blimp shot. We continue to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the 2002 World Champion Angels. And tonight it is game number 2 of a 4-game series between the Halos and the visiting Tampa Bay Rays. Hi, everybody. We welcome you back to Angels Baseball here on Fox Sports West. Victor Rojas along with Mark Gubas inside our broadcast booth. And tonight, as we just showed you, Jared Weaver is towing the slab for the Halos, going up against James Shields. And I don't know if there's anything else we can say about the season that Jared Weaver has had this year, because he just continues to get better and better.
I mean, when you think about what out pitches he takes to the mound each and every night, and when you talk about being consistent, you talk about Jared Weaver with his fastball, his curve, his slider, his changeup, his ability to elevate a fastball. That's why you look, when you talk about best in the game, our Mazda leaders as far as the top starters in the American League, there's no question Weave, in my opinion, is at the top at 15-2. David Price, who was outstanding last night, right behind him, Justin Verlander, and King Felix with that perfect game. It should be wide open. It's going to be a lot of fun to see who wins that Cy Young this year in the American League.
Yeah, David Price had a nice 7 innings last night, picking up win number 16. We'll check out the lineup that Jared Weaver will be facing tonight, put out there by Joe Madden. The Rays are the wild card leader right now with the Baltimore Orioles, 10 games over 500. Desmond Jennings in left field, B.J. Upton at center, Matt Joyce at right, Evan Longoria serving as the DH, Ben Zobrist at shortstop, Jeff Kepinger's at first base tonight, Sean Rodriguez, the former Halos, over at third, Ryan Roberts is at second base, and the former Angel Jose Molino batting ninth and doing the catching. And as we just pointed out, Jared Weaver with a 15-2 record, 138 innings of work this year, 97 hits allowed, and 106 punch-outs.
Just another few things to say how impressive Jared is. He's 4-1 in his career versus the Rays with an ERA 2.47, limited their batting average against him at 195. So look for Weaver to do as usual, get deep in the game and give his team a chance to win another game.
All right, defensively for the Angels behind Weaver, Mark Trumbo in left, Mike Trout at center, Torrey Hunter's in right field. The infield consists of Alberto Callaspo, Eric Ibar, Howie Kendrick, and Albert Pujols from third to first, and Chris Iannetta behind the dish.
Howie Kendrick at second base position, very athletic, 982 fielding percentage for Howie in that spot. Very good as far as turning double plays. He's been involved in 63 double plays turned at second base this year. So Howie, again, we've seen Weaver get a lot more ground balls of late, and Howie should be active in that position.
Desmond Jennings leading things off, 0 for 5 last night, hitting .251 on the season. 9 home runs and 34 runs batted in. Very, very good speed as the first one misses upstairs. And it's 1 ball, no strikes. It's the Tampa Bay Rays team that leads the American League in stolen bases, led by Jennings, as well as B.J. Upton. The two guys at the top of the order for Joe Madden have combined for 44 stolen bases. They have 102 on this season. There's Upton, who last night homered against Heron. This one's lifted in the air. Out to center field. Mike Trout back a couple of steps. And he'll make the catch for the first out. It is still a very warm and muggy night. We're supposed to start to cool off into the weekend, but it just seems like it's getting hotter and hotter as the week progresses.
It felt definitely hotter today than any of the days this week. Humidity up there, there's no question. A lot of sweat. And that baseball carried a lot further than I thought it would go, because Jennings didn't hit that well, but it carried all the way back to the warning track.
Yeah, it seemed like a routine fly ball to center field, but as you pointed out, Trout had made the catch near the warning track as B.J. Upton settles into the batter's box with 1 out here, just underway. Upton 1 for 4 with a home run as he lifts this one out to deep left field. Going back is Trumbo, and it's 1-0 Rays. Second straight night in which Upton has hit a home run. This one's his 15th of the season.
13th home run that Jared has allowed this year. And Upton was just 4 for 17 in his career versus Weaver. Fastball similar to the fastball he hit last night out. Wanted it away and ran in the middle of the plate. And Upton doesn't miss many fastballs when it's not located where you want it as a pitcher.
First ball swinging is Matt Joyce. This one cued over to Eric Ibar. 2 outs. Hey, today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, as well as Japan. We welcome you, and as always, we thank you for your service. 2 outs and nobody on, and the approach seems to be the Tampa Bay Rays. Swing early in the count. Here's Evan Longoria, who looks at a strike.
And they're always known to be a patient club, work the counts, but we saw that last night early in the game. Dan Harris swinging at the first pitch. Out there attacking early.
0-2 count on Longoria, who also homered last night, his 5th of the season. 2 for 4 with 2 runs batted in, hitting .304 on the year, and as we pointed out last night, still with that partial tear in his hamstring. Just a total of 85 games this year for the Rays. Here's the 0-2, and that's inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dan Herron last night took the loss and could not get out of the 4th inning. Just 3 2/3, 5 runs all earned on 7 hits and 2 home runs allowed. Swing and a miss. Down goes Longoria, and the inning comes to an end. But now before the Rays strike first on B.J. Upton's 15th of the year. As we head to the bottom of the 1st inning, Tampa Bay leads it 1-0. We will check out Mike Scioscia's starting 9 for the Angels tonight with a record of 62 and 57. Mike Trout leading things off at center field. Torrey Hunter in right. Albert Pujols at first. Kendrys Morales back in the lineup. He's the DH. Mark Trumbo is in left. Alberto Callasco at third. Howie Kendrick is at second. Eric Ivar, the shortstop, batting 8th. And batting 9th and doing the catching is Chris Iannetta as they take on the 30-year-old right-hander, Southern California native, the guy they call Big Game, James Shields.
James Shields, fastball 89-93. Also throws a very effective cut fastball, curveball, and one of the better changeups on the right side you're going to see in baseball. Not afraid to throw that pitch back-to-back or in fastball counts.
.10-7 record, that .402 earned run average for Shields. A terrific changeup. A subpar season for him by his standards as Mike Trout looks at a fastball for a strike at 94 miles per hour.
Yeah, last year Shields had 11 complete games with 4 shutouts. Just 1 CG and 1 shutout this year.
And last year's 16-12 record, a .282 earned run average, finishing 3rd in the Cy Young voting behind Verlander and Weaver. A little different story this season.
5-3 in his career versus the Angels, but just 1-2 here at the Big A with an ERA 5.67 here.
1 ball, 1 strike on Trout, who last night went 1 for 3. This one out towards left center field, hit very well. Upton's going back at the warning track at the wall. That's off the top of the wall. Trout turns on the afterburners. On his way to third base. He will be stopped right there. It is a leadoff triple.
6th triple of the year from Mike Trout. It looked like B.J. Upton was trying to time his jump at the wall. We talked about how it's been carrying well here at night because of the warm weather.
He went up with it with the bare hand, it looked like, at the last minute. Watch that right hand go up there and try to make a barehanded Kevin Mitchell catch.
I was going to say, he tried to be Kevin Mitchell.
He almost got it, too.
That would have been pretty impressive to catch that off the wall like that and be able to hold on to it.
No doubt about it. Torrey swings through the first one, and it's 0-1.
Boy, Dino Ebo was tempted to send Mike Trout home, but B.J. Upton got after that ball quickly. Didn't go far enough away from him.
Sixth triple of the year for Trout. He stands at third. The 0-1 pitch. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Torrey last night went 0 for 4. First time he's gone hitless in back-to-back games since July 18th and the 20th. Hitting .291 with 12 home runs and 56 runs batted in. Infield for the Rays playing back as Torrey bounces it foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rodriguez, the third baseman, near the bag at third, playing Torrey to pull. And Keppinger, the first baseman, is off the line at first. Everyone else back at normal depth. Rays with a home run off the bat of Upton in the first inning. Lead at 1-0. Trout with a leadoff triple. Here's the 1-2. And Torrey fouls this one off to the right.
And that was a 4-seam fastball by Shields. He got away with that one. Torrey just fouled that one straight back. His go-to pitch still is changeup because he has great arm action with his off-speed pitch.
Pujols on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Try to get Torrey to swing over top of the changeup there.
Two on the way. Torrey just got a piece of it, keeps his at-bat alive. Halo's third in the American League at batting average as a team. They are 5th in home runs, 5th in runs scored. 5th in on-base percentage, 4th in slugging. But this is a team that has faced a very good Tampa Bay Rays pitching staff of late. That's down low, full count. The Angels have gone 32 consecutive scoreless innings against the Rays. 3 straight shutouts. He jammed him. Fouls it off to the right. Last time the Angels scored against the Rays, the 3rd inning of game 1 of a 3-game set here, and that was back on July 27th. And that came with 2 outs.
Well, David Price was pretty special last night. Consensus was, talking to a lot of the hitters who faced him last night, just free and easy with his motion and a great fastball, and even better cut fastball.
Torrey pulls one over to Sean Rodriguez, and they double up Trout. How about that? 2 outs. Nice play by Rodriguez. The bases are clear for Albert Pujols.
And not only to make the play, but have that presence to be able to tag the base before Trout got back to third base. Well, this is an outstanding play by Sean Rodriguez, who's played in a number of different positions for Joe Maddon's Rays.
So here's Albert. Looks at a fastball for a strike. Pujols last night 0 for 4, hitting .278 on the year with 26 home runs and 82 runs batted in. Oh, 2.
And you can't hit a baseball any better if you're Torrey Hunter. So right at Rodriguez, nice play, dives, hot corner, tags the base.
A ball and 2 strikes.
And the discussion right there with Trout and Trumbo is what pitches he was able to see from Shields. If he can pick the baseball up, kind of movement he has on a fastball, kind of speed differential on his changeup.
Ground ball towards short, and that is past Ben Zobrist as they were playing Albert to pull. So a 2-out single keeps the inning alive for Kendrys Morales.
Good piece of hitting for Pujols. It was a pretty good pitch for Shields. It was down. Now was able to go down and get that baseball before it crosses the plate. Hits it up through the middle. That's the approach you have to do against James Shields. You have to think in terms of up the middle because he changes speed so well.
Kendricks looks at a strike. Morales did not play last night, hitting .282 with 15 home runs and 52 runs batted in. 16 doubles. Kendricks a .293 average from the left side of the plate as he swings through the off-speed pitch, and that is what you will see quite a bit from James Shields.
His changeup varies between 82 and 87. A little bit harder as far as his changeup than Weaver's, but both very effective for these two pitchers.
Ball and 2 strikes. Albert stays at first base. Trout with the leadoff triple off the top of the wall in center field. And Hunter, 9-pitch at bat, lined one down the line, but Sean Rodriguez with a diving stop and touched the base before Trout was able to get back to it. Not much Mike could do there.
And is very good at bat. Saw a lot of pitches for Torrey Hunter also. Squared it up right at Rodriguez.
There's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and down goes Morales as Shields picks up his first strikeout. We have played one here at the Big A, and the Rays are on top 1-0. Pitch, the hand grenade going over Dino Evil's head, but, and of course with a good reason too. As Troy Gloss is kind enough to join us here in the broadcast booth. You had your son with you, so
that was awesome. I mean, I blew it, but but it was great. It was great to have him out there and let him experience being out on the field.
Now, how much fun has it been the last couple of days getting a chance to catch up with the guys, and then of course leading up to tomorrow's induction?
It's been great. You know, I've ran into a couple guys at the hotel, and guys I haven't seen in 5 or 6, 7, 8 years, and I'm sure tonight and tomorrow you're gonna run into more people that we haven't seen in a while and reminisce and remember how fun it was and what a great time that we had.
Yeah, you're gonna have 27 former guys. I mean, your teammates gonna be there tomorrow night. It's gonna be a lot of fun to be able to catch up with some. You mentioned you haven't seen them in so long. It's gotta be a blast to be able to catch up and tell some stories.
Absolutely. There were some guys that were getting towards the end of their careers. There were a couple guys that were just beginning, and still a handful that are still playing. So you know, it was it'll be great to see, you know, some of the guys, like I said, that maybe ended their career not too long after that, and get to catch up with them and see their kids and see how big they're getting, you know, the kids are getting, and you know, just see where everybody's at.
The last couple of days, we've had a chance to talk about with Scott Spezia, his home run out to right field, with Troy Percival closing out some games. Of course, Game 7, but for you had one big swing of the bat in Game 6, that double into the alley in left center field that Barry Bonds just could not get to. This, of course, off Rob Nennon. No question, not only a game changer, but a series changer.
Well, you know, we were battling back there, and we were down, and you know, Garrett got a key hit, and Salmon got a key hit. We had guys on, we had opportunities, and we just needed to take advantage of them.
Ben Zobrist hits this one out toward deep right center field, and Jared Weaver's give up his second home run of the ball game. 2-0 Rays.
Baseball's carrying pretty good here tonight. You don't generally see that here at the Big A.
It's still warm.
Yeah,
it's still warm. You know, sun's still up a little bit. You know, it'll get heavier as it always does once the sun goes down.
Well, when you're getting back to that at bat he had against Rob Nenn, he's one of the best closers the game has ever seen. I mean, but the confidence you guys had. We talked to everybody from that team in 2002. They just felt that things were going to go well. And when you face a guy like him, what are you trying to do against him? You know,
right there, I was, you know, we had the situation was there. We just needed one run to go ahead. And I was like, you know, just you grind into a double play, do anything just to get that one run across. And he left the pitch up. And, you know, fortunately for us, and we you know, hit the ball in the gap, and we got to end up with a couple more runs. But, you know, really right there, I was just put the ball in play, get the runner in from third, regardless.
Nice play by Eric Ivar there to collect the first out of the inning. And, the one thing that we've heard a lot from the guys of late is the camaraderie of that ball club and what you guys went through that entire season. And there's a video package that the guys here at the stadium put together for tomorrow's induction. Looking forward to seeing that. But just take us through that season and what it was like for you, especially leading into the postseason and just getting to that moment with that. What was it? Garrett made the last catch in Arlington when you guys got into the postseason.
Yeah. No, it was. You know, our season started off so poorly. You know that it wasn't. You know, the end result was not really on our radar, and we thought we could play much better, and we thought we should play much better. But then finally, you know, after the first 20 games or so, we kind of had to sit down and talked about it and figured out what we were going to do to make this ship right. You know, and fortunately for us, you know, we went on. I think, you know, we ended up winning 97 or 8 or 9 games that year, and. You know, when you're 6 out of your first 20, that's good playing down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the success you had in the postseason, everybody was able to come through with some big clutch hits. I mean, you go from the Yankees, you go to the Twins, and then, of course, through the Giants. But, you know, you go in the Yankee Stadium, and you're hitting a home run off of Roger Clemens. I mean, it's pretty impressive to be able to put up those type of numbers.
You know, I think we just, you know, when we went into the postseason playing so well, you know, that I think it just carried over. You know, we had to fight right down to the end, you know, to even get in. And then, you know, and then once we did, obviously, it just kind of carried over. And we, you know, we had some games that didn't go our way. We had some games that we came back. And then, you know, a couple of games against the Giants, they blew us out. We blew them out. You know, so I mean, it was just an all over the place kind of series. But, you know, we honestly, to the last out of every game, thought that we had a chance to win it.
Well, it's always getting a chance to catch up with you. Looking forward to seeing you and the rest of the guys tomorrow night. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Rays on top by the score of 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the second. TBA.com/fan guide for a chance to win a VIP experience for two this year at an MLB World Series game. Presented by Scott's, the official lawn care company of MLB. Halos down 2-0 here in the bottom of the second. Ben Zobrist with a solo home run leading off the second, his 14th of the year. And the Angels here in the second will have Trumbull, Cayaspo, and Kendrick against James Shields. First one missing inside. Trumbull last night, a 1-for-4 night. Got a little 5-game hitting streak going. Hitting 289 on the year, 29 home runs. 74 runs batted in. Two balls, no strikes. That one just caught the inside corner, 2-1.
Threw a backup cut fastball at him. And went around the inside part of the plate. That's one thing Shields has thrown a lot more this year. His cut fastballs. He only throws about 31% of his pitches are fastballs.
Foul back. Got it in on the hands. It is 2-2. Shields has had 3 very good starts. It has brought his earned run average down from a season high of 4.52 on July 26 to the 4.02 at the start of today's game. Full count now. Complete game shutout against Oakland on July 31st. Gave up a run against Toronto in 8 innings and 2 hits on August the 7th. And the last time out, allowed 2 runs in 7 innings at Target Field against the Twins. 3-2. Oh, bouncer foul.
Boy, back-to-back changeups. You mentioned that Shields is not afraid. He's not afraid to throw another changeup also.
Changeup right now, we've seen, you talk about differential. And a lot of times you see guys that have, you want about an 8 to 10 mile per hour differential. He's been about at 7 miles per hour right now. Maybe that's why we're getting so many foul balls. That's a fastball at 94. It's a called strike 3. There's out number 1. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP.
That's pretty tough when you've had back-to-back changeups and then he paints the outside corner at the knees at 94.
Great live shot there from the Hangar 1 blimp. It's above the big 8 tonight. Cayaspo looks at the strike, but just getting back to my point that the changeup right now has been at 87, fastball at 94. And we've seen a lot of not a lot of swings and misses as of yet on the changeup as Cayaspo fouls it back. Some foul tips.
You know, I mean, I don't know if he can sit on the changeup necessarily because he's shown he can throw the 94. He's thrown one fastball at 96, but mostly right around 94.
Breaking pitch just missed outside,
and his curveball really has been the big speed difference for him. That's the one that's been at 81 miles an hour.
16th round pick, Hart High School. That's where he's out of back in 2000. Cayaspo getting a piece of that changeup. Count remains at 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Angels with a couple of hits in the bottom of the first. A leadoff triple by Trout, but unfortunately doubled up on that liner by Torrey Hunter. Pujols with a 2-out single, then Morales struck out to end the first. The Rays with a couple of home runs, not known as a home run hitting team. 2-2.
Boy, Cayaspo's seen a number of different pitches in this at a changeup, a couple curveballs, a fastball. Cayaspo very difficult to get. A swing and miss. He's going to put the ball in play.
There's a changeup and a swing and a miss. 2 down. That's 3 straight strikeouts for Shields.
Well, it's so hard for a hitter to stay back because you think the way his arm action is, it's going to be a fastball. And then it's a changeup. You start moving forward to try to catch up to 94. But then to 86, even though it's not that much of a differential, but 8 is enough to be able to get hitters out in front.
So 2 outs and nobody on for Howie Kendrick with the Angels down 2-0. Howie looks at a fastball that is outside. Kendrick with a 4-game hitting streak extended it last night with his last at bat. He tripled. He ended up going 1 for 4. It was his 3rd triple of the year. 1-1. Hitting .285 with 5 home runs. 40 runs batted in. Ball and 2 strikes.
Boy, early on, Shields is pitching. Hits him off the plate inside. Hitting the spots away, changing speeds exceptionally well. 156 punch outs this year. Last year, 225. Which was 3rd best in the American League. He can pitch, and he hits his spots very well.
This one into right field. Joyce is there. He'll make the catch. The Angels go down in order. 2 complete here at the Big A, and the Rays lead it 2-0. In our broadcast booth, and wanted to show you the new Cuban panini sandwich. This is in the panini stand section 112. That is field level. And then we've got different types of Farmer John sausages. This is Louisiana hot bratwurst and a sweet Italian sausage. You can get those near Clyde Wright's Barbecue at Gate 1, section 242.
I'll be back in about an inning or so.
This is what we typically call good eatings.
No question.
Little check swing roller up the line. Weaver goes a shot put over to Albert Pujols, and the first down is recorded here to start this 3rd inning. Lena was 1 for 4 last night.
Baseball going right down the line. We've seen many times the baseball will not roll foul here. You know, Jared Weaver played some basketball at Simi Valley. Also, a little jump shot over to Pujols for the out.
So 1 out. Desmond Jennings, a leadoff man, is up. And the fastball misses inside. Two balls, no strikes. Weaver threw 9 pitches in the first, 10 in the second, but he is down 2-0, courtesy of a couple of solo home runs. Upton in the first, Zobrist in the second, and Jennings swings and misses on the changeup.
And that's the difference. His changeup weaves is 75 to close to 80. Shields 84 to 87 with his changeup, but similar action on the pitch.
3-1. 1 strikeout, no walks, and the 2 hits allowed. First time Weaver's gotten to a 3-ball count. This one back in the seats. Full count. Upton is on deck. Three-two on the way. Just got a piece of it.
He's thrown Jennings 3 changeups in this sequence.
Jennings rolls this one foul. Swing and a miss. Down goes Jennings. 2 down.
Now it's time for our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. With 1 out in the first. DJ Upton gets a fastball that ran middle of the plate, turns on, hits it out to left field. His 15th home run of the year, back-to-back nights for home runs for BJ Upton. A lot of power, especially when you make a mistake with a fastball. That was a Coors Light Cold Hard Blast brought to you by Frost Brew Coors Light.
Well, Upton steps up with 2 outs and nobody on base. Takes that one down low. Home run for Upton is 15th, now with 51 RBIs. Back-to-back nights in which he has homered. Back-to-back nights for Zobrist as well, as this one's hooked into left field. A base hit. So with 2 outs, a man at first choice will come up, and we'll take a look at our Hyundai key to the game.
One of your favorite bands, Victor. Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood, the right guy on the hill tonight. Although the first couple innings, a couple of mistakes by Weaver, a couple home runs, but the reality is you're going to see Weaver at the end of this ball game competing, giving his team a chance to win this game.
The Crew was just in concert Tuesday night down in Irvine with Kiss. We were here.
Yeah, but they might have been playing a little bit longer. Could have saw the last few songs.
Yeah, we drove by the on the 405 with the windows down.
Oh, yeah.
South.
There you go.
Joyce 0 for 1. He grounded out to Ibar as he takes a fastball inside.
Weaver's got to pay attention to Upton at first base. 22 stolen bases in 27 attempts. Weaver, a very good pickoff move. 2 pickoffs this year.
1-1. It's a Rays team that is 10-4 in the month of August. The Angels 5-10 as this one's rolled softly to Howie Kendrick. The inning will come to an end. No runs ahead, 1 left on. We will head to the bottom of the 3rd. The Angels trailing this one 2-0. Shields with 3 strikeouts, no walks, 2 hits allowed, a triple to Trout in the first, a single by Pujols in the first. One and two.
Shields has allowed 19 home runs this year, 16 versus left-handed batters. Just 3 versus right-handed batters.
Two balls, 2 strikes. A couple of scores of importance to the Angels. Texas lost tonight. The Toronto Blue Jays 3-2 up in Toronto. Detroit defeated Baltimore 5-3. Yankees beat Boston. And right now, 0-0 Cleveland at Oakland. Chicago, the White Sox also lost 4-2 to Kansas City. And Ibar hits one out toward right field, hit very well. Joyce is going back at the wall, gone! Big fly for Eric Ibar. 7th of the season, and that shutout string is over as the Angels trail it 2-1.
Now the 20th home run the Shields has allowed, 17th to a left-handed batter. Eric Ibar's 7th home run, 34th RBI. Called even on the count, missed location. Molina setting up away on the inner half of the plate, dropped the head of the bat and drives it out to right center field.
34 consecutive innings without scoring a run for the Angels against Rays pitching comes to an end with that home run as Iannetta takes a fastball inside. Iannetta last night 0 for 3 as he shoots one into right field, chasing Joyce to his left, and will make the catch for the first out.
They seem to have their outfielders positioned in the right place, but bottom line, it comes down to the pitchers executing, hitting their spots, and pitching to the defense. The ball was hit well by Iannetta, known more as a pull hitter or right center field. That ball was down the right field line, and Joyce makes that look almost routine.
So with one out, the bases clear, Mike Trout steps to the plate. Hit his 6th triple of the season in the first inning. Off the wall, just to the left of straightaway center field.
Ibar's starting to swing the bat with power. 6 home runs the last 21 games.
Trout looks at a strike. Ibar's been looking at videos from 2009. Trying to get that swing back.
You're always working on those things as far as your timing as a hitter. See what you're doing right and also what you're doing wrong at the plate.
0-2. That 09 season for Eric, the year he hit .312.
5-0-2 counts for Shields so far during the 3rd inning. He's been working ahead of the count.
Swing and a miss on the breaking pitch. The ball gets away from Molina. He'll throw on to first. He completes a strikeout. 2 outs. Hey folks, this season Fox Sports is proud to support Boys and Girls Club of America, the place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, just log on at greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. The strikeout of Trout, the 4th for James Shields. 2 outs here in the 3rd. And here comes Torrey Hunter. A lot of home runs hit in this series, and overall, a lot of home runs hit by the Rays in the season series. As Torrey chases the changeup, and it's 0-1. Tampa Bay's hit 13 home runs against the Angels this year. The Halos against the Rays have hit now 3.
It's amazing when you look at Tampa's had 111 home runs as a team the entire year.
0-2. 13 of the 112 that they've hit this year against the Angels. Oh, 2. Bounce that one. Ball on 2 strikes. Both teams with 3 hits. 2-1 Rays here in the 3rd.
Both these pitches are around the plate so often as a hitter, you're thinking they're going to be throwing strikes. That's why you'll see an occasional home run. against both these guys because they're around the plate so consistently.
Torrey rolls this one foul. Hunter lines this one into right center field. There's a base hit. Joyce over to cut it off. A very good throwing arm, and he'll hold Torrey at first base with a 2-out single.
Amazing how it evens out. Torrey's first at bat hits a rocket. Then Rodriguez makes a great play at third and ends up with a double play. This time Torrey gets jammed, but fights it off into right center field for a base hit.
So a man on with 2 outs, and Albert Pujols gets you an opportunity here against James Shields. He's thrown 52 pitches through 2 2/3. Pujols had a single in the first inning. They play Albert to pull in the infield. Zobrist towards the shortstop hole, and Rodriguez toward the line at third. Fastball is in for strike one. There's a good look at the alignment.
How important Albert Pujols is to this lineup. 348 and wins with 19 home runs. And Albert is not hitting the ball consistently. The team struggles. The importance of an MVP on your team to swing the bat.
And the Derna gets away from Molina as he tried to backhand that ball. Torrey advances on the wild pitch.
7th wild pitch of the year for Shields. In the dirt, gets away from Molina. And allows Torrey to get into scoring position for Pujols. One of the best of all time as far as delivering with runners in scoring position.
Now with Jose behind the plate, if you're a base runner, you've got to be on your toes looking for that extra base. He's not a guy that goes into that full square up, block the ball position as most catchers do. Tries to pick it out of the dirt. Bouncer foul, 1-2. Eric Ibar with a leadoff home run to start this bottom of the third. Halos down by a run. Torrey with a 2-out single. Stands at second base after the wild pitch. Now Shields was coming set. Albert backed out. Darrell Cousins behind the plate. The veteran umpire calling the balls and strikes. Hunter with a big lead at second. Here's the 1-2. That's down low. Dug out of the dirt by Molina. 2-2. Swing and a miss, and he got him. Took something off, and the inning comes to an end. The Angels get on the board on the Ibar home run. We've played 3 here at the Big A, and the Rays lead it 2-1. Got a gold medalist in the house tonight. Dugout suites. Annika Dries of the gold medal winning U.S. water polo team.
Well, how cool is that? What an amazing Olympics our USA team had.
Halo's getting a run off the bat of Eric Ibarb. A one-run game, and Evan Longoria to lead things off for the Rays here in the fourth. Fastball missed inside. Longoria struck out swinging in the first inning on an off-speed pitch. One of 2 punch-outs for Weaver. This one's hooked foul down the left field line.
I got to watch some of that water polo. That is a tough sport. Very impressive effort. Why are women there?
This one out to the alley in left center field. That'll fall in for a hit. Longoria's been struggling with that hamstring issue. He'll stop there with a long single. Still a station-to-station base runner right now. As we take a look at our AT&T trivia question for tonight. Troy Gloss had 47 home runs in 2000 for the Halos. They're the only 3 third basemen ever to hit more in a season. So with Longoria at first base, while you ponder that question, you see the wheels churning already for you. Ben Zobrist steps to the plate. Zobrist homered leading off the second inning. It's 14th of the year.
I was thinking too with Longoria, the way he's running right now, that allowed Mike Trout to play deeper in center field to be able to cut the angle off and keep him at first base to keep the potential double play in order with Zobrist.
1 ball, 1 strike. Mentioned Zobrist last night went 2 for 4 with a home run. Joe Madden, the skipper of the Rays and former bench coach of the Angels, has a Twitter account. This one's fouled back. And Joe tweeted last night after the game, "I like boring, no chrome infielders. Ben Zobrist does that for us."
Ben Zobrist plays a lot of positions for Joe Madden. Does everything well.
Breaking pitch blocked by Iannetta. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And I get what he's saying. He doesn't care about the flashiness or anything like that. He just wants the business-like approach, and this is what Zobrist has done, throughout his career, as far as being flexible and bouncing around at different positions.
I've always been a big believer as a pitcher. I just want guys to make routine plays. I mean, the spectacular plays are great, but the routine plays allows you to win games. And Zobrist does that no matter where Joe Madden puts him.
Well, a full count here on Zobrist.
Second full count so far tonight for Weave.
Longoria over at first base. 3-2 is inside. He walked him. So a single by Longoria. Now the walk to Zobrist. The first 2 have reached against Weaver here in the fourth. 43 total pitches thrown by Jared. And Jeff Keppinger, the first baseman, will step to the plate. Keppinger's a guy that likes to swing early in the count. Popped down on a nice play by Eric Ibarb. Foul territory down the left field line.
Yeah, he's a contact hitter, but also a guy that can roll into a double play.
That breaking pitch slipped out of the hand of Weaver and off the glove of Iannetta and all the way to the backstop. Mike Butcher might come out and talk things over. At least he's come over to Mike Scioscia, get to the dugout. Well, maybe he slipped a little bit.
Yeah, definitely the baseball was not in the hand as it follows through. Keppinger was not going to try to get out of the way of that baseball. You got to make sure, Weave is feeling good right now, and that's why you see Mike Butcher going out to make sure that everything is okay, especially with his back.
Well, you wonder when you see something like that if it is that back issue creeping back up. And that's a pitch where, as much torque as he has on his body, he likes to really get through it, opening that left shoulder a little bit. And you can see him just could not get through that baseball, and it just kind of slipped out of his hands. So we'll see the residual effect here. Here's a look at that pitch once again.
Well, he didn't follow through with his pitch at all. He stopped as far as his motion. And Weaver, we've talked about it and shown it a number of times, especially from that angle from behind home plate. The ability to be able to reach out is almost as if he's trying to shake hand with the catcher.
2 balls and no strikes.
Still pretty good velocity on the fastball. That one at 89 didn't miss the zone by much.
John Rodriguez, the third baseman, is on deck. There's a 4-pitch walk, so they're loaded up now. A single of back-to-back walks. And here comes Rodriguez, who popped out to Ibar in the second. Check swing on the off speed. They wanted appeal, and now Porter says he did not go. 1-0 count. Longoria standing at third, Zobrist at second, and Keppinger at first. The 1-0 pitch. Strike. Keep in mind that the Angels are not playing their infield in. Corner infielders are pitching in a little bit. Longoria doesn't run that well right now because of that hamstring issue. This one's looped out to left field, and that is going to fall in for a hit. A run will come in to score as Longoria crosses the plate, and it's 3-1 Rays.
Back with an off-speed pitch away. The ball in front. Trouble in left field. Just enough at the end of the bat for Rodriguez to get a base hit and an RBI. Still, the bases loaded.
Nobody out for Ryan Roberts. The RBI for Rodriguez is 31st of the year. Roberts lifts one down the right field line. Long run in for Torrey. He's not going to get there. Leads in there for a single. 1 run is in. And it is 4-1 Rays. That ball ricochets off of Iannetta. There's coverage at the plate. And Roberts picks up his 8th RBI as a member of the Rays. Still looking for that first out. Rays with solo runs in the first and second innings, 2 thus far here in the fourth. That's Keppinger at third, Rodriguez at second, and Roberts at first. Molina swings through the first one, 2-1. Molina's 0 for 1. A little dribbler up the first base line.
Certainly the right guy up here. If you want an opportunity to get a ground ball double play, you got to try to prevent this inning from getting any bigger.
Lined into center field, a base hit. 2 runs are going to come in on this one. 6-1 Rays.
Come on, Sean.
Another big inning for the Rays and another struggling inning for an Angels pitcher.
Like a slider that Molina went up the middle with it. See Jennings up here to bunt. You got to be aware of that. Still with no outs here.
Oh, and 1.
Velocity not necessarily there, but that doesn't normally have to worry necessarily about velocity, but 89 has been his hardest fastball so far in this game.
Push bunt up the first base line, and it trickles into foul territory. 0-2 count. Just the second time this year in which Weaver's allowed 6 or more runs. The only other time was his first loss of the year, and that was at Texas on May 13th, in which he gave up 8 runs and 3 1/3. He's gone 3 thus far, and he's faced now 7 batters here in the fourth. The Angels start to get action in their bullpen. LaTroy Hawkins begins to loosen. An 0-2 count on Desmond Jennings. He's 0 for 2 tonight with a fly ball to center and a strikeout. Off speed. That's a pretty good pitch. The ball and 2 strikes.
From a nice changeup. Hits the corner. Doesn't get the benefit of the call. It's 78-mile-an-hour changeup.
This one's fouled back. .22 pitches thrown by Weaver thus far. Still looking for that first out here in the fourth. This one out to the alley in right center field. Torrey giving chase. Can't get it. It'll go all the way to the wall. 1 run is in. Molina will stop at third. 7-1 Rays. A double for Desmond Jennings. And it's only a double because he had Molina running in front of him. That's going to be it for Jared Weaver, who lasts just 3 innings and faces 7 batters tonight. And just didn't have it. Gave up the 2 solo home runs in the first and second innings. But thus far has allowed 5 here in the fourth. A pitching change. It is 7-1 Rays. Jared Weaver. Very un-Weaver-like line. 58 pitches, 3+ innings, 8 hits, 7 runs all earned. And he's still responsible for the 2 guys on base. The roar of the crowd that you're hearing is that just showed Annika Dries and her gold medal up on the big screen. But LaTroy Hawkins comes into the ballgame to face B.J. Yumpton, with Molina standing at third base and Jennings at second.
Well, we're so accustomed to seeing Weave pitching 7, 8, 9 innings and always avoiding a big inning against him. His ability to throw his changeup, his curveball, his slider just didn't look comfortable almost from the get-go in the game as far as the location. Be just one of those games. That's what you hope it is. It's one of those games. There's no health issue at all.
Upton swings the first pitch, fouls one off to the right. Upton tonight is 2 for 2 with a home run and a single. You're right, especially after Ibar hits a home run, all of a sudden it's a 1-run game, and you're looking for your ace to go out there and throw a big fat 0 up on the board and get your offense back to hitting against James Shields. But you seldom see Weaver blow up like this, especially in this ballpark. Infield halfway. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss.
We're coming in this game, Weaver 30 games over 500 at home. With an ERA 2.54. And this year 8-1 with a 1.23 at home. We've said it often, there's nobody as competitive as Weave. This is one of those nights.
This is looped out to left center field. 1 run is in. Jennings is going to be waved around, and he is going to score. It's 9-1 Rays. And those 2 runs charged to Jared Weaver, so his book is now closed. A 3-hit game for B.J. Upton as he picks up his 3rd RBI of the ball game.
And this an unusual thing to see. 9 earned runs allowed tonight for Weave. This is a career high. And he's pitched so well against this Rays club throughout his career. 4-1 with a 2.47. He's held in the 195 batting average against him.
Here's Matt Joyce, the right fielder. Fouls off the first pitch, and it's 0-1. Earlier we were telling you about the Rays' 10-4 record in the month of August, and the Angels with a 5-10 record in the month of August. The Rays have been helped out with a pitching staff who has thrown a 1.63 earned run average in this month up on the board. The Angels at 6.17, and that has gone up considerably tonight. This one flipped to Kendrick on the Ibar, relays the Pujols double play, 2 outs.
Nice job of a turn here from Howie. Quick feed over to Ibar, 4-6-3 double play. The 64 double play Howie Kendrick has been involved in this year. The thing is, you look at the most recent opponents that the Angels have faced as far as batting averages.
Yeah.
You got Oakland, Seattle, Tampa. All 3 of them at 234, 231, 230. And then you mix in Cleveland at 253. Down towards the bottom. And for whatever reason, they've had pretty decent approaches and success against Angel pitching.
I mean, even that White Sox series, they were 8th in the American League at the time when the Angels were in town in Chicago. So this one's down the right field line and tailing towards the seats. So it's something that has not stopped as of yet. We've seen the brakes have been tapped a couple of times, but that's it. ball and 2 strikes. Longoria is the guy that started things off here in this 4th inning with a single to the alley left center field. Then Weaver walked Zobrist on a 3-2 pitch, then walked Keppinger on 4 pitches to load the bases. Then the Rays put 4 consecutive hits together. Rodriguez, Roberts, Molina, and Jennings as Longoria goes down. And this inning finally comes to an end. 7 runs in for the Rays. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. It is 9-1 Tampa Bay. From AT&T U-verse. Visit AT&T.com/free your TV. Rethink possible. By CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax. Start here. And by Hawaiian Gardens Casino. Get your game on. Kendrys Morales leads things off for the Halos. Down 9-1 here in the 4th inning. Morales, Trumbo, and Callaspo. It's James Shields, who has struck out 5, walked no one, and allowed 4 hits. Kendrys struck out in the 1st inning, so he's 0 for 1. This one pulled up the line. It's a fair ball. Keppinger will take it himself. 1 out. Let's go back to our AT&T trivia question, and we were talking about Troy Glaus and the season that he had back in 2000 when he hit 47 home runs. We're the only 3 third basemen ever to hit more in a season. Alex Rodriguez with 52, Adrian Beltre 48, Mike Schmidt with 48. A-Rod's, is that the MVP year? Texas? As a third baseman?
I think he was still a shortstop, not until he went to the Yankees. Yeah. Beltre had that big year for the Dodgers before he left as a free agent.
It was one of his MVP years, but I was thinking the one in Texas, but still playing shortstop at the time.
Or Beltre doing that with a bad foot the whole year for the Dodgers.
Signed a lucrative deal with the Seattle Mariners. Was that a 5-year deal or a 4-year deal? Seattle.
Pretty sure it was a 5-year deal.
5 years. Spent the time there, then 1 year in Boston before signing his deal with Texas. Trumbo, a swing and a miss, 1-2. Chase the off-speed pitch. Trumbo goes down swinging. 2 outs.
Six strikeouts in the game so far for Shields. assortment of changeups, makes him a pretty good curveball, spotting his fastball well.
Chaos was 0 for 1. He struck out in the second inning. Two one, and Chaos will linesman to right. 2-out single. That'll bring up Howie Kendrick.
Hayasco had a good night against David Price, gets his hands up through that high fastball from Shields. It's a base hit. And a few batters that saw the ball well last night against David Price.
Howie with the fly ball to right field that ended the second inning, so he is 0 for 1. Nine runs, 9 hits, 1 left on for the Rays. 1 run, 5 hits, and 2 left on for the Angels. One and one. Howie with the 11 multi-hit games since the All-Star break.
Even his last swing was hit well to right field that Joyce made the play on. And favoring that right field line against Howie.
2 balls and a strike.
I would lead you to believe that Shields is going to throw fastballs and changeups away against Howie, an occasional fastball in to keep him honest. But when you have that defense situated like that, you're going to try to throw the outer part of the plate.
Three and one. Ibar's on deck. Howie seems to put up decent numbers against the Rays throughout his career. He came in batting .378 against them. This one's hit out toward right center field, and that ball is crushed. Gone! A big fly for Howie Kendrick, a 2-run shot. 9-3 Rays.
Boy, just like that, Howie seeing the ball that way, the approach is thrown away, show in just enough for effect. And then hits the ball to right center field, his 6th home run, 42nd RBI. Hit the ball well, I mentioned the first time up to right field, but Matt Joyce right in the right position. This time a fastball away and got his hand through that baseball exceptionally well. James Shields knew it right away. Well out the other way for Howie Kendrick.
Eric Ibar looks at a strike. First home run for Howie Kendrick since July the 2nd at Cleveland. 6th overall. Ibar homered, leading off the 3rd. He's 1 for 1. Yanks this one down the line. It is hooking foul.
That's 7 home runs hit. 2 games so far. Pretty surprising. But that warm weather makes this certainly more of a hitter's ballpark than what we've seen over the first few months, where you got to crush it to get it out of here.
Bouncer right back to Shields. The inning comes to an end. The Angels get 2 on one swing of the bat by Howie Kendrick, his 6th of the year. We're through 4, and the Rays lead at 9-3. Angels baseball is brought to you by the amazing grilled cheese bacon burger, only at Carl's Jr. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T Rethink Possible. And by Dodge. Top of the 5th. It is 9-3 Rays. LaTroy Hawkins is back out there facing Ben Zobrist. He delivers a strike. Zobrist with a home run and a walk, and he has scored 2 runs. One ball, one strike. This one pulled past Howie Kendrick, and Zobrist is on board. His second hit, his 4th hit of the series. Leadoff single. Aerial coverage brought to you by Hangar One, Baca made in California, and an actual aircraft hangar. Big shots. What? Vodka in their blend.
Zobrist is a career .248 hitter against the Angels. Although in this series, seeing the ball well and driving it.
There's Jeff Keppinger getting to start tonight at first base. Zobrist takes off. The hit and run is on. That one goes off of LaTroy, and it trickles out into shallow center field. That's a base hit for Keppinger, and the Rays have runners at first and third with nobody out.
Ball right back up the middle and off the body of LaTroy. In the center field. Hit and run works.
So Keppinger is on board for the second time, his first hit of the ball game, and here's Sean Rodriguez, third baseman. Pops up the bunt. Kind of a odd time to bunt unless you're squeezing, but
safety squeeze more than anything else after a hit and run. Still, I guess, early enough in the game in the 5th inning, up 9-3.
0-2 count. Rodriguez had a single with an RBI and a run scored in the fourth. 11 hits for the Rays through 4 innings, plus 2 batters. Weaver giving up 8 hits, 2 home runs, 9 total runs allowed. One ball, 2 strikes. Weaver came into tonight's action with a 2.22 earned run average, and with the 9 runs allowed tonight, his ERA has jumped up to 2.74. Only other American League action up in Oakland. Cleveland leading the A's 4-3. That game at the top of the 5th. Seattle is leading Minnesota 3-1. That game at the bottom of the 5th. Everything else in the books aside from this one, as this was chopped to the right side. Kendrick has it. He's on the place for first. The run will score. It's 10-3 Rays. As Keppinger ends up at second base. Take a look at the Kia standings in the American League West. Texas lost tonight. Detroit won. Baltimore lost. That's where we stand right now. The Angels at the start of the day, 7 back in the West, 2.5 back in the wild card.
Yeah, you look at that, it's 2 back in that wild card, but the reality is the Angels just have to be more consistent. Difficult when you're facing a team like Tampa and you fall behind their staff they have.
Pitching has been non-existent of late. This is now going back a couple of weeks. Ryan Roberts, the second baseman tonight, 1 for 2, had an RBI single in that 4th inning. Rodriguez, by the way, picked up his second RBI of the night with that ground out. One and one. Roberts with the monster season last year with the Arizona Diamondbacks, a breakout year in his big league career, but really struggled with the Diamondbacks this year. At 250. 6 home runs, 34 runs batted in, no room left for him, so the Rays were able to pick him up. He's bounced around a little bit as well, position-wise, as he lifts this one out toward left center. Trouble gives way to Trout, who'll make the catch. Keppinger will stay at second, 2 outs.
Joe Maddon definitely requires his players to play a number of different positions. You see that throughout their lineup. Every guy is playing a number of positions for him. Versatile players, guys that can situational hit, can steal some bases. Remember him struggling to win games here as a manager for the Rays against the Angels in this ballpark, but of late though he's turned that around, and part of the reason why is because they've thrown the ball so well here.
One-0 count on Molina. He had a 2 RBI single in the 4th, 1 for 2 overall. A jam shot roller to second. Now they throw out Molina. The inning comes to an end as the Rays pick up the run. We will head to the bottom of the 5th. It is 10-3 Rays. The undoing for Jared Weaver tonight, lasting just 3 innings. He faced 7 batters in that 4th inning. He gave up 9 of the 10 runs overall. Angels here in the 5th will have 9, 1, and 2 coming up. Iannetta, Trout, and Hunter. And Mike once again will have to answer questions tomorrow about the pitching staff and what is going on. We've seen it from Dan Herron, the struggles at times from Zach Greinke. C.J. Wilson hasn't won a game since late June.
I mean, Mike Scioscia would normally think he would never have to answer a question about his staff. That was certainly coming into this year a strong suit. And then when you acquire Zach Greinke,
bouncer out in front of the plate. Molina will throw out Iannetta. 1 out. Hisanori Takahashi, the left-hander, begins to play catch out of the bullpen. There's Jock. Go back to our Hyundai key to the game.
we'll talk about Dr. Feelgood for Jared Weaver on the hill. Tough night for him, but this man right here, no question about it, continues to impress. First at bat, triples off the top of the wall in center field, just missed. His 23rd home run of the year. The swing is still there. The patience, athleticism, ability to be able to ignite the crowd, especially when you face a tough guy like James Shields here who changes speed so well. It's very difficult for anyone to keep their hands back. It's going to be important now for Trout to do so.
So 1 pitch. Breaking balls in the dirt. Mike 1 for 2 with a triple in the 1st. Struck out in the 3rd.
Well, you've seen, even with a lead like this, Shields is not variate from his game plan. He will still throw a number of changeups. He will spot his fastball. He will throw his curveball. He will not give in and just throw fastball after fastball.
Breaking pitch, chopped over to 3rd. Rodriguez has it. Off balance throw gets Trout for the 2nd out here in the 5th.
But when you look at this game, if Rodriguez doesn't make that play on that line drive by Torrey Hunter, who knows how the game turns around at that point. That's a double down the line. At that point, ties the score up. You have Torrey in scoring position with Albert Pujols coming up. That's why a lot of times a great defensive play could be the key for a team winning a game. And Sean Rodriguez made an outstanding play there at 3rd on Torrey. And with Mike Trout on 3rd, a line drive, dives, almost by him the line drive. Not only catches it, but the presence of mind to be able to put the glove on the base and get Trout for a double play. So often Torrey has said, yeah, he likes to be able to drive the ball out of the ballpark, but his plays in the outfield, robbing of a home run, a great defensive play, ignites the entire team.
Hunter picks up his 2nd hit of the ball game. A 2-out single. And we'll bring up Albert. 7th hit tonight. Allowed by James Shields. Pujols was 1 for 2, had a single in the 1st inning and struck out in the 3rd. 86 pitches thrown by Shields. Short lead for Hunter over at first base. Time was called. 1 ball, 1 strike.
What we've seen from Shields after that fastball inside, he backs it up quite often with his changeup.
Good hitters counted. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs here in the 5th. Hunter with a 2-out single, standing at first base. Next pitch for Shields will be his 90th in the game. 6 strikeouts and no walks. And 7 hits allowed.
Shields has a quick pickoff move. He has 2 pickoffs this year. Has allowed 10 stolen bases in 12 attempts. Comes from that old Baltimore Orioles school of the odd way he goes into the stretch position to give him bigger and a longer look towards the guy at first base.
Two one, pulled foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Certainly been around the strike zone. 90 pitches thrown, 60 in the strike zone for Shields.
Two, and he got him. Off-speed pitch. Second time that Pujols has gone down swinging. The inning comes to an end. 5 in the books. 10-3 Tampa Bay.
Freeze cam. Mike Trout, bottom of the first. Gets a fastball down, thinks he might have his 23rd home run just off the top of the wall as BJ Upton tried to use his bare hand, not his glove, to make the play off the wall. Ends up being a triple for Mike Trout. The freeze cam brought to you by Frost Brew Coors Light. Mike Trout going back out to center field position. Yoshinori Takahashi taking over for LaTroy Hawkins now. We can see if he can turn around and start throwing some strike. Desmond Jennings going to lead off the inning here for the Rays. Takahashi in position to be able to try to get that first pitch over. Fastball just off the outside corner at 88 miles an hour for Takahashi.
He takes over for LaTroy Hawkins, who went 2 innings tonight, 3 hits and a run. LaTroy picked up a strikeout. Taka pitching in his 42nd game this season. He'll face the top of the order: Jennings, Upton, and Joyce. Jennings tonight 1 for 3, had an RBI double in the 4th. Takahashi falls behind here at 3 balls and a strike. Hisanori last pitched in Monday's game, faced 3 batters and gave up 3 runs as Jennings lifts this one in the air to shallow left. Ibar's out there. 1 out. We're talking about the issues with the pitchers. This is specifically starting pitchers. A .590 earned run average in the month of August. The Angels offensively have hit .277 this month. They've picked up 24 home runs. So the offense still doing what it has been doing for the most part.
You look for trends, over the years. Generally, the month of August, hitters have that advantage. The baseball carries is warmer. Pitchers have piled up the innings and pitches at that point, but the reality is this staff right here is just too good to have that type of ERA. I mean, each one of them can dominate a game.
And Upton drills this one out to right field, chasing Torrey back. He'll pull up. That's off the wall. Upton on his way to second as Torrey slips as he gets that baseball back in here. And Upton's had himself a 4-hit game. 2 singles, a double, and a home run.
Pretty good piece of hitting for Upton. Gets a fastball away and went with that pitch. Off the wall. And Torrey tried to field it with the bare hand and all in one motion. Fired that one in to second base.
Upton picking up his 20th double of the year. He has 3 runs batted in on the night. Here's Matt Joyce, who's hitless. 0 for 3 is Joyce. 3 ground ball outs. The last one being a double play ball. 1 ball, no strikes. I mentioned that outing by Takahashi on Monday, and that was against the Cleveland Indians. The Angels scored 2 in that bottom of the 8th inning. In the 9th, Takahashi was handed the baseball and trying to keep it a 1-run deficit, but did not retire a batter as he gave up 3 consecutive hits. This one's drilled out to the alley in left center field. Trumbo giving chase and tailing back toward him, and he'll make the catch for the second out. Nice read by Trumbo. As Upton stays at second base.
Yeah, you try to get used to the baseball off the bat, if whether it's a right-handed batter or in this case a left-handed batter, because it could drift back towards you. So you make that first initial step to get yourself in position to catch that fly ball out.
Here's Evan Longoria. 1 for 3 tonight. Single with a run scored in the 4th inning. 0-1. Seems like the approach against Longoria, and granted it's only been a game and a half with the issue in the hamstring, that slight tear in the hamstring still, that Try to get him on his front side. A lot of off-speed pitches.
Yeah, he's going to be able to be effective against a fastball, but if you can get him out in front, change speeds, whether it's a curveball or a changeup, if he's forced to move forward, it's tough to be able to keep his hands back, especially with the lower part of his body not healthy at this point.
Upton with a one-out double stands at second. 10-3 Rays. We're in the sixth. One and two.
Again, another changeup.
Two balls, two strikes. Oakland has tied up the game at the Coliseum against the Indians. 4-4, that game in the sixth. Mariners leading the Twins 5-1 in the sixth inning. This one's fouled off to the right. Another 2-2 on the way. Upstairs going with the fastball. And a full count. Ben Zobrist is on deck. Zobrist has been on board 3 times. A home run, a walk, and a single. He has scored 3 times. Swing and a miss. Down goes Longoria, and the inning comes to an end. Went to the bottom of the sixth. The Halos down 10-3.
Wow, a career high 9 earned runs in his 3+ innings tonight. And the Angels, well, they've hit a couple home runs. Eric Ibar is 7th. Howie Kendrick his 6th. Eric Ibar with 6 home runs in his last 21 games. So he's certainly getting the power swing together.
Kendrick Morales, Mark Trumbo, and Alberto Callaspo here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 10-3 Rays. James Shields, 91 pitches so far. 7 punch-outs, no walks. And 7 hits allowed, including 2 home runs. Ibar solo shot. Kendrick a 2-run shot as Kendrick looks at the strike. Morales is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground ball to first. Morales in the hole at 0-2. As he chases the changeup. Down he goes for the first down. The Angels will welcome the Boston Red Sox to the Big A for a 3-game series. Why are we going to welcome them? They're a nemesis.
No, don't welcome them.
They will be stopping by here.
Yes.
Beginning August 28th. Purchase your tickets at the Angel Stadium ticket office or by logging on at angels.com. It's just the only 3-game set that the Red Sox will be playing here at the Big A this season.
Yeah, so odd this year. Haven't seen the Red Sox the entire year. See them twice, a little over a week.
Might welcome Don Orsillo and the Rem Dog himself, Jerry Remy, but aside from that, nah, that's the Red Sox.
No welcome. No welcome, Matt.
Red Sox lost tonight to the Yankees 6-4. As Trumbo swings through that pitch, and it's 0-2. Marks 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Went down looking in the 2nd inning, struck out swinging in the 4th. A ball and 2 strikes. 97 pitches thrown by Shields, 66 strikes.
Shields done a nice job as far as negating the middle part of the lineup for the Angels tonight. 6 punch-outs between Pujols, Morales, and Trumbo. Majority of them either on a curveball or changeup.
Two has bounced over to third. Rodriguez has it. 2 outs. Check that upcoming schedule as we were just talking about the Red Sox. 2 more against the Rays tomorrow night and then of course Sunday afternoon. Travel day heading to Boston for a 3-game set beginning on Tuesday. Then it's off to Detroit for 3. And then back home for that 3-game set. Just a very quick 3-game homestand. Then the Angels back out on the road. That's Labor Day weekend. 3 in Seattle and 3 in Oakland before coming back home for the majority of September.
I'd like to see CJ come out and just dominate with his fastball tomorrow, especially his 2-seam fastball away to the right-handed batters. And then throw that cut fastball, hard fastball in. You keep him honest. Get back to ground ball after ground ball out for CJ.
Callaspo pulls this one over to Keppinger at first base, and Shields has himself another 1-2-3 inning. 6 in the books, 10-3 Tampa Bay. Loco, crazy you can taste. And by Southern California Toyota. Check out the full line of fuel-efficient vehicles at your Southern California Toyota dealer. Top of the 7th inning, 10-3. Rays lead the Angels. It'll be Zobrist, Keppinger, and Rodriguez against Hisanori Takahashi, working his second inning of work. Gave up a double in the 6th inning. Zobrist spinning around, hit from the right side for the first time tonight. He's homered, walked, and singled. That puts him at 2 for 2 tonight. 3 runs scored.
Zobrist with 4 hits so far in these first 2 games. Upton with 5.
That pitch missed down and in. There comes the 2-1 pitch. This one's bounced over to third. Callaspo has it. 1 out. Hey, slide into the driver's seat of a brand new Chevy or win tickets to an upcoming Angels game for you and 3 friends. For official rules and your chance to win, visit angels.com/Chevy. We might have to kind of change things up and maybe do a game from down there in full catcher's gear.
Oh, definitely. Need that.
There's the Chevy sweet seats. First pitch swinging is Keppinger. We talked about that. He's a guy that likes to go after that first pitch, and that is out number 2 as he pops out into foul territory.
And we talked about how difficult it is to strike him out. He's a contact guy. Starts off with an open stance and closes the stance and tries to make contact.
So 2 up and 2 down for Takahashi. Here comes Sean Rodriguez. Rays have not gone down in order in this game as of yet. Weaver gave up solo home runs in the first and second innings and nothing more. Gave up a single in the third, but then all of a sudden in the 4th inning just couldn't get a guy out. 0-1 pitch. That's inside and gets away from Iannetta.
So that odd pitch he threw to Keppinger to end up going behind him, whether it was a changeup or curveball, just didn't look comfortable in that inning. When you look at that inning, 2 walks for Weaver. He's definitely always around the strike zone. Coming in that game, there's 30 walks in 138 innings pitched.
1-2. Rays have action in their bullpen with Burke Batenhop. The pitch last night loosening, so Shields more than likely done after 6 innings. Here's the 1-2. Rodriguez lines one toward the corner in left field. Trumbo will play the hop off the wall. And Rodriguez in its second with a 2-out double. That's his 13th double of the year. His second hit of the ballgame. And the Rays have yet to be retired in order.
Again, coming this game, it's a .234 batting average for this team. But hitting the ball well. They were extremely aggressive back-to-back nights early in the game, jumping on fastballs.
Roberts looks at a strike. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Had an RBI single in that 4th inning. His other 2 times up, he's hit a couple of fly ball outs. Takahashi gave up a double last inning to Upton. Upton was stranded at second base. A double by Rodriguez, the 13th hit picked up by the Rays tonight. Rays had 8 hits last night. 1-2.
17 runs scored in the first 2 games.
Rays at the start of the day, 6 back in the American League East, and sitting atop the American League wild card. Down goes Roberts. As the 2-out double by Rodriguez, stranded at second base. 7th inning stretch time at the Big A, 10-3 Rays.
Field, his 7th home run. Howie Kendra going the other way, 2-run home run in the 4th inning. So all the runs brought in by the power swing. Scoring this game for the Angels, 2 home runs. Ibar, Kendrick, and they're both coming up this inning.
Rays have a new first baseman. Their everyday guy, Carlos Pena, is in the ball game here as we start this bottom of the 7th inning. New pitcher on for Joe Madden as well. Burke Badenhop takes over for James Shields. He'll be pitching in his 52nd game this year. 1-2 mark, a 3.55 ERA. Takes over for Shields, who went 6 innings tonight, allowed 3 runs, all earned on 7 hits, including the 2 home runs. He struck out 8 and walked nobody.
It's a big thing for Shields. Doesn't walk many batters. Had a great changeup and curveball throughout the game. Badenhop, 87 and 92 with the fastball. Majority of his pitches fastballs, slider and changeup.
Kendrick, Ibar, Iannetta, bottom third of the order for the Angels. Now he looks at a strike. 1 for 2 with that 2-run shot of the 4th inning, the opposite way. Extending his hitting streak to 5 games. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and two. Badenhop originally in the Tigers system and was traded to the Florida Marlins. A big trade with the Fish that involved Miguel Cabrera and Dontrell Willis. And picked up this past offseason from the Florida Marlins in exchange for catcher Jake Jeffries. His entire big league career has been spent prior to this season in the National League. how he rolls this one, just foul up the first base line. Still at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The bullpen's been pretty effective for Joe Madden this year, considering a number of new faces down there for him. Their ERA out of the bullpen, an even 3.
A little flare over to second base. Roberts makes the catch, 1 out. So Ibar will step up, 1 for 2. Solo home run of the 3rd inning, and a bouncer back to the mound of the 4th. Two balls and no strikes on Ibar. Good one. Three balls and 1 strike. Ianetta's on deck.
Ibar continue to track the ball well.
Has some sink on that one. Full count.
Creates a different arm angle to be able to create that sinking fastball.
Little looper out to shallow right center field. And that's going to fall in for a hit. So Ibar picks up his 2nd hit of the game. And that'll bring up Chris Iannetta. Hey, tomorrow when the Halos take on the Rays, it's a 6:05 start. Kids 2 to 14 in attendance will receive a C.J. Wilson backpack courtesy of Safe at Home while supplies last. Purchase tickets today at the Angel Stadium ticket office or at angels.com.
Ibar now 16 for 41 since coming back from the DL with 3 home runs during that span.
First one is outside Iannetta. Chris tonight is 0 for 2. A fly ball to right. A little tapper out in front of the plate. This was line to right field and a base hit. Back-to-back hits for the Angels. Just the 2nd time tonight that has occurred.
Job of staying with that pitch by Chris Iannetta. Wade Davis getting loose down in the bullpen for the Rays.
So back to the top of the order now with Trout coming up. Trout 1 for 3 with a triple in the first, a strikeout in the 3rd, a ground ball to Rodriguez at 3rd base, and that came in the 5th inning. Oh, and 1. Trout faced Badenhop last night in the 8th inning and picked up a single against him. One ball, one strike.
Well, this seems to be a pretty good matchup for Mike Trout. Badenhop, a lot of pitches down around knee level. Trout is so quick through that baseball in that zone.
1-1 pitch. Caught the corner. 1-2. Ibar standing at second, I netted first. Hunter's on deck. Here's the 1-2, way outside. Davis is ready to go in the bullpen for Joe. He went 1 inning last night as he pitched the 9th.
You'll see that off from Joe Madden looking at his charts. Very big as far as that, whether it's his pitchers or setting up his defense.
Two-two, little jam shot back to Badenhop. Fires a second for one. Relay to first in time. An inning-ending double play. 7 in the books, 10-3 Rays.
The flare down the right field line, another hit. Jose Molina gets a slider, hits it back up the middle. Scoring a couple runs. Finished off right here. Right, Jennings hit the ball into the outfield for a base hit. 4 straight hits, 7 runs scored in the 4th inning for the Rays.
Top of the 8th, it is 10-3 Rays. And, when that 7th inning occurred, we figured we'd go back when that road trip started in Texas and ask how many 4 or more run innings the Angels pitchers have allowed. The last 17 games, 11 times the Angels have allowed 4 or more runs in an inning, which is something that had not been occurring up until the beginning of that road stretch.
Well, and Mike Scioscia has not seen that from his staff for a long, long time. Scioscia, reason why the success he's had here has been built around the pitching staff and solid defense. Certainly he's had the offense this year, but the pitching staff has struggled.
Jason Isringhausen takes over on the mound for Hisanori Takahashi. Pitching in his 43rd game, 3-2 record of 3.89 ERA. Izzy last pitched in Wednesday's game against Cleveland, went 1 inning, and gave up 3 runs as Jose Molina takes out John. He'll face 9-1-2. Molina, Jennings, and Upton here in the 8th. Jose Molina tonight 1 for 3, a 2 RBI single in the 4th inning. It's 2 balls and no strikes. The Angels will be getting some reinforcements in the bullpen tomorrow. Scott Downs eligible to come off the disabled list. And Jordan Walden just through his 3rd rehab stint last night. As this one's hit out toward left center field, hit pretty well. Trout going back at the wall, and that is gone. A leadoff home run for Jose Molina. It's 11-3 Rays. That's the 5th home run that the Molina's hit this season.
Well, that baseball went a long way off the bat of Molina. His 3rd RBI of the game. It's a fastball down the heart of the plate and hits it to dead center field. Up in the rocks.
Here's Jennings fouling off the first pitch. Jennings 1 for 4 tonight with an RBI double and a run scored. Hit attack so far for the Rays. 11-3. They lead it here in the 8th. Weaver gave up 9 runs in 3+ innings. Hawkins a run in his 2 innings, and Isringhausen has allowed a run thus far. But getting back to we were saying before Molina hit the home run that both Walden and Downs scheduled to be in the bullpen tomorrow night.
When there's no question the Angels and Mike Scioscia have missed Scott Downs. The bullpen. A very good simulated game this yesterday. Activated tomorrow for the game tomorrow night.
Jennings shoots one to right. A 2-2 fastball, and Jennings picks up his 2nd hit. So 2 straight hits allowed by Isringhausen here in the 8th inning. Here comes B.J. Upton. Upton's been on base all 4 times tonight. 4 hits, 2 singles, a double, and a home run. 3 runs batted in. He homered off of Weaver in the 1st inning, his 15th of the year. A single in the 3rd, a 2 RBI single in the 4th, and the double in the 6th inning was off Takahashi. Bouncer to 3rd. Callaspo feeds Kendrick for 1. Relay on to 1st. In time, a double play.
Well, Callaspo's played some outstanding defense at 3rd base. A tough play. In between hop, the strong throw to Howie is able to turn another double play tonight. 2nd turn by the Angels. Quick on the transfer, solid throw, and Howie gets rid of for a double play.
And that's probably the only way they turn that double play with Upton running down the line. Here's Matt Joyce, 2 outs, bases clear. One and two.
Those tough stats, especially even Jason has said, it's mainly because of falling behind in counts and forcing the fastball counts.
Well, he gets Joyce to swing and miss, and that will end the 8th. The Rays tack on a run as they lead at 11-3. Thank them for everything they've done tonight. Unfortunately, has not helped the pitching staff of the Angels and or the offense. The Halos down 11-3. And here at the bottom of the 8th inning, there's a new pitcher on. And he'll have a new shortstop behind him. It's Elliott Johnson taking over at the shortstop position for Ben Zobrist. And Wade Davis takes over on the mound.
He's been a nice transition into the bullpen. Former starter for the Rays. Fastball, which is his best pitch, 90 to 96. Curveball, slider, changeup.
2, 3, and 4 for the Angels as Torrey looks at a breaking pitch for a strike. Torrey skies this one into the seats on the first base side, and it's an 0-2 count. Torrey tonight 2 for 3. He lined into a double play in the first inning, and he's had a couple of singles since. One and two. Davis, third round pick by the Rays in 2004. 29th start for them last year. 29 the year before. Two on the way. Lays off. Full count.
I think the Rays do have a lot of depth as far as starting pitching. Wade Davis was pretty solid last year. He's up in the bullpen.
Down to right field line, but foul.
Jeff Neiman, who got hit with a line drive in his leg. And now for a while, another solid starter they have.
Another 3-2. And Torrey shoots this one into right field. A 3-hit game for Hunter. The Angels get their leadoff man on board here to start this 8th. And be sure to subscribe to MLB.tv today, and you can take advantage of the new low pricing and see every remaining Angels out-of-market games live online at HD quality. Just log on at angels.com to order and get more information. MLB.tv is baseball everywhere. 11-3 here in the 8th. Man on, nobody out for Albert Pujols. Albert 1 for 3. A single and a couple of strikeouts. At base hit for Torrey, the 10th hit tonight by the Angels. Jam shot rolled over to third. Rodriguez, Roberts to Pena, 2 outs.
You know, we saw that a lot earlier in the year in St. Petersburg, where they ran a lot of fastballs in on the hands of Albert Pujols. We'll continue with that pattern. Hard fastballs on the hands, slow stuff down and away.
Morales a swing and a miss. Tough night for him tonight. 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts and a ground out as Stephen Geltz gets ready to come on in the 9th inning. Two balls and 2 strikes on Kendrys. This a chopper toward the middle. And Morales is retired to end the 8th. We will head to the 9th. The Angels down 11-3.
Four-game series. Alex Cobb on the hill for the Rays, 7-8 mark with an ERA just over 4 versus C.J. Wilson, 9-9 with an ERA 3.32. Alex Cobb has a very good changeup of himself, but look for C.J. to get quick outs, especially with that 2-seam fastball, get a number of ground ball outs.
Pitching change for the Halos here in the 9th inning. It's Stephen Geltz taking over for Jason Isringhausen, who went 1 inning. Allowed 2 hits, and that was the home run, one of which was a home run to Jose Molina. Geltz pitching in his 2nd consecutive game, made his major league debut last night.
Yeah, showed a good fastball, 93-94. Good breaking pitch and changeup also.
He's got new defenders behind him. Bobby Wilson takes over at first base for Albert Pujols. Peter Borges is now out in center field. That pushes Trout to left, and Trumbo from left over to right. So Torrey Hunter and Albert Pujols no longer in the game. Geltz is ready to go. And Sam Fold is going to pinch hit here for Evan Longoria to start the ninth inning. Longoria finishes the ninth going 1 for 4. A single and 3 strikeouts. Fold hitting .262 this year. A couple of doubles, a couple of runs batted in, just 16 games played. A lot of time on the DL.
Definitely
Right
a high
wrist
energy
surgery.
guy
Yeah.
for the Rays. Good speed.
No one pitch. This is hit in the air toward right center field. Hit pretty well. Trumbo giving chase, as is Borges, and nobody can get it. Ricochets high off the wall, and Fold will end up at third base with a leadoff triple.
Like a baseball with the communication, more of an issue for Borges, making with this going over towards right center field, and Trumbo trying to reach out to make the play himself.
That's a ball in which Peter Borges should
normally would be in position to make that play.
Should be calling off everybody. Elliott Johnson in his first plate appearance came out as a defensive replacement in the 8th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. "16 hits picked up by the Rays tonight. Two balls and a strike. This one out to center field. Borges is there. He'll make the catch. Tagging is full. The throw is up the line. It's 12-3 Rays.
Elliott Johnson gets a sacrifice fly. Run batted in. His 28th RBI on the season.
So 1 out and the base is clear. This is Carlos Pena, his first plate appearance tonight. Pena came on defensively in the 7th. Keppinger got the start at first base tonight with Weaver on the mound. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Geltz in his big league debut last night with 1 inning. 1 strikeout, 1 walk. Pena was the first guy that he had faced in his big league career, and he ended up walking him leading off the 9th inning, but he was stranded at first base. This one's hit to right. Trumbo back on it. 2 outs.
He certainly had some pretty good swings these first 2 games for Rays hitters. Trying to get himself in the good hitters counts. They've been aggressive early in games.
Rodriguez swinging through the high fastball, and it's 0-1. A 2 for 4 night for Rodriguez. 2 runs batted in, had a double. Oh, with 2. Left-hander J.P. Howell loosening for the Rays in the pen. Bouncer back up the middle, off the glove, and hits the bag and shoots into center field. A 2-out single.
Rodriguez with a 3-hit game. 2 singles and a double.
Roberts tonight 1 for 4. An RBI single in the 4th inning. Jared Weaver's chance to take the loss would be his 2nd consecutive loss, his 3rd of the season. Career high 9 runs allowed. His previous high in runs allowed in a game 8, and he had done it 4 times. And tonight he had departed having allowed 7, but LaTroy Hawkins with a couple of men on base. First batter he faced gave up a single to Upton, and those 2 runs came in as Geltz misses upstairs, and it's 3 balls and a strike. So 9 by Weaver, 1 by Hawkins, 1 by Isringhausen, and 1 so far by Geltz. And he walked him. Figure Geltz is one of the casualties tomorrow, as Downs and Walden are scheduled to come off the DL.
Certainly showing some great numbers in AA and AAA, and showing he's got a good fastball here at the major league level also. It's a matter of the confidence for any young player or pitcher.
Want to know? Molina tonight is 2 for 4. 3 runs batted in. It's also homered.
Mike Butcher going out to the mound now to talk to Geltz. And back on track, trusting his fastball, command of his fastball.
Two 2-0 on Molina with 2 men on, 2 outs here in the 9th, 1 run in. 3 balls and no strikes. And they are loaded up now for Desmond Jennings. That's the last thing you want to see happen here, is getting someone warmed up, just trying to get the last out here in the ninth. And that expression by Mike Butcher says it all.
Yeah, it forces you to get someone up and start throwing, to be prepared to come in the game. You want to have as many fresh arms as possible to be able to be in position to win tomorrow night.
Jennings looks at a strike. 2 for 5 this evening as Trieri begins to play catch. One and one. Two balls and one strike. Jennings swings at it, and they will force out Molina to end the top of the ninth. We'll head to the bottom of the ninth. The Angels down 12-3. J.P. Howell, the left-hander, takes over on the mound here to face the Angels in the bottom of the ninth. Sam Fold, who pinch hit for Evan Longoria, stays in the game and is out in center field. So essentially the Rays have given up their designated hitter. And now Howell, the lefty, to face Trumbo, Callaspo, and Kendrick, although Vernon Wells has come out to the on-deck circle. Looks like Vernon's going to get an at-bat here in the ninth.
And JP's had a nice bounce-back season for the Rays. They're struggling last year, dealing with some arm issues the year before. Fastball, mid to upper 80s, very good changeup and curveball. Will occasionally throw a four-seam fastball at the low 90s also, but he'll settle in the mid 80s with good sink.
Trumbo tonight 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts and a ground out. 0-1. 12 runs, 17 hits, 7 left on for the Rays. 3 runs, 10 hits, 4 left on for the Angels. As Trumbull lines one to left field, Jennings puts it away, and there's the first out. Vernon Wells to pitch hit here for Alberto Callasco, who finishes the game going 1 for 3. .222 with 7 home runs and 18 runs batted in. Vernon was out at left field last night. Ended up going 0 for 2 with a walk. Made a nice diving catch on a sinking liner. Fouls this one back. An 0-2 count. Ball and 2 strikes. Kendrick on deck. Two down. Well, the Angels down to the last out here. Here comes Howie, who's 1 for 3.
Howie with a good shot the other way, a 2-run home run back in the 4th inning. Right center field approach for Kendrick.
First run from Howell is the breaking ball upstairs. That home run that Howie hit back in the 4th is first since July the 2nd. 2-run shot, 6th of the year. Halo's managing 3 runs tonight, all 3 against James Shields. With that 7-run 4th inning against Jared Weaver. The Angels undoing tonight. Jared will drop to 15-3 on the season as Howie lifts this one in the air toward right center field. Sam Fuld on the warning track gives way to Matt Joyce in the inning. And this ball game comes to an end as the Rays take game 2 by the final of 12-3.
Well, certainly a surprise. There's no question coming in this game. The dream pitching matchup, James Shields versus Jared Weaver. One of those things where the Rays is very solid approaches at the plate, put together a big 4th inning, which they scored 7 runs. Able to distance himself and win this one 12-3.
Mentioned Weaver takes the loss. He's 15-3 on the season. Shields picks up the win. He is now 11-7. The Halos fall to 62-58 on the year. Stick around. Chris McGee, Jose Mota, Tim Salmon will break it all down. An Angels Live postgame edition coming up next.